Hey everybody, this is Sheets, and I'm going to be doing my preview of the truck race today from the Daytona Road Course. And uh, on top of my analysis of yesterday's Infinity race, for those of you that watched that, I, I don't know, I think it's a very interesting week for this type of thing because what you're getting is a totally different type of course. And in some sense, you're getting some different drivers coming in also. And my concept about how to analyze these races was that there's certain types of drivers that really just look to these types of races. So you've had these regulars that have been just racing every single week, and you have these road course drivers that have been waiting for this type of event outside their normal circuit for a while. And from a DFS perspective, the idea, there's two things. Number one is the casual players who are used to just playing the regular drivers in these series are going to just naturally lean towards those names because they know them better. And these experts, so to speak, these other guys might end up being ignored a little bit. Now, again, I think that the real astute DFS players are going to pick up on that and know these guys. But I still think there's kind of an edge in that type of analysis and kind of trying to fade the weaker of the regs. In addition, I think this is a interesting way of looking at it. There are three levels of race. Okay, that I think at the bottom of the barrel, these truck races, and then the Infinity race, and then the Cup race. Now the Cup race is not as big a deal because it's basically the same drivers. And the level of, I think the expertise gap, let's put it this way, all right, on this type of course, I mean, is really big. I mean, you really have to know what you're doing here. And I think that the better the drivers in general, probably the less gap there is between the driver who's just good at everything and the specialist that comes in. And as you get all the way down to the trucks and the Infinities, I mean, the regs who are not used to this type of thing are just the stone worst. So the idea was going to be to just throw out all of the kind of medium range regs and even some of the popular good regs from these lineups and just pile on with these road course guys. And in the truck series, I kind of go back and forth between whether I want to go full on just guys, when I say guys I've never heard of, guys that the regs that play these things aren't as familiar with, and whether it's better maybe to filter in some of these guys. So I think that what I'm going to do is for this particular race, all right, and I think this is pretty interesting, is I'm going to do a really good mix between probably 2/3 or 3/4 of my lineup are going to be these road course guys. And I am going to just filter in a couple of the, quote unquote regs that are just not that bad, okay, on these courses relative to their other skill sets. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down the kind of the list and just highlight these guys. So you see the first three guys I put at the top of the list were Tagliani, Chris Wright, and Mike Skeen. These are three, road course guys who, again, they're really expensive. They're, starting at the back. And one thing I neglected to mention is that, on this type of course, it's only a handful of laps because the course is so big. And so the dominator points are really just, not that important. So you really want guys that can either win the race or, and get the finishing points or the place differential points. You don't really need to find guys at the front. So the idea is basically I'm going to be basically tossing out all the guys in the front. So guys, so what am I looking for? I'm looking to toss guys that are regs that are near the front. So like, for example, like guys like Hill, Moffitt, X, I guess Rhodes isn't terrible, but Gillen, Zane Smith, Ankrum, Derek Huss, like Tanner Gray, all these guys I'm just kind of inclined to throw out. All right. And then basically just stack the rest of the lineup with these other dudes. Now, there are a couple of guys I did wanted to point out who are not actually that bad. And I am going to probably use them. actually, the guy I mentioned, Moffat's not that bad at this. So he would be the one guy I would use maybe from this kind of, from that tier. Let's put it that way. And we're going to go down. I'm going to highlight guys that are, regs that I might use and guys that I might toss. And that's kind of the idea. Like Crafton's not bad. I might use him. Sauter, I might use him. Klingerman, I might use him. Again, obviously, these guys are expensive. Not going to use Hill. Creed's not bad. I might use him. Not going to use Infinger. Not going to use Friesen. Not going to use X. Not going to use Rhodes. Not going to use Gillens. Not going to use St. Smith. Ankrum, Krause. Lassard is, I guess, okay. Maybe he's okay. Tanner Gray, no. Self, no. Corey Roper, no. Jennifer Joe Cobb, no. Spencer Boyd, no. So Tate Fogelman, he's just the freaking worst. Rohrbach, Veens, these guys are all really bad. What I want to use are guys that are, either those few guys I mentioned who are decent regs at this type of course. So like Crafton, Sauter, Klingerman, Creed's okay. And the rest are going to be piled on these guys. Now I put these guys in my lineup just to show you. Tagliani, Chris Wright, Mike Skeen, they're like the top guys, but all these other dudes that are like really, really cheap, like Collier, Kennedy, this guy Hocevar is not the worst. Mark Smith's not the worst. Roger Royce is not the worst. So all these guys are really, really cheap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just basically almost shuffle like all these guys, like Roos, Smith, Hocevar, and what I'm not going to do is necessarily fill out the whole lineup as far as salary goes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to probably run my optimizer and say, minimum 48,000 or something. And what I'm going to do is say my 20 lineups, just in the way of being different. I'm going to, this is just what I'm doing, is I'm going to put all those guys in the optimizer. And then I'm going to play 5 entries. Now I'm playing 20 total. So I'm going to play 5 entries where the salary is between 49,000 and 50. Then I'm going to play 5 lineups where it's between 49,000 and 4,500. Then I'm going to play 5 lineups where it's between 48,000 and 49,000. And then just for kicks, I'm going to play 5 lineups where it's under 48,000. And that's the thing. There's going to be so much variance in this race, I believe, that I think that leaving money on the table is a decent idea. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think it's the way to go. So let me just review. Top guys, Tagliani, Wright, Skeen. I guess Crafton's okay. But these are the guys you want to look for. These road, what do they call them? Road ragers, road warriors, road experts, whatever they call them. Road experts, I guess. No, it's something else. I forget what it is. But these are the guys that, again, they have some advantage because, there's no practice, right? So the regs have no practice on these courses pretty much. And they don't have the name recognition as some of these other guys. So just want to make sure I didn't forget anybody. No, I think those are all the dudes. So again, Crafton is fine. Sauter is fine. Klingerman is fine. But all these other guys like Hill, Enfinger, Friesen, X, Rhodes, maybe I'll throw him in one. Rhodes, Gillen, Smith, Ankrum, Krause, Lassard, maybe. Gray, no. I'm just scrolling down the list here. Tyler Hill, no. Fogelman, no. Rohrbach, no. Veens, no. Benning, no. And I'm just going to shuffle the rest. I'm going to use Smith, Royce, Hocevar, and, let the optimizer do its thing. And what I'm going to do, but here's kind of the trick. I'm not going to put any of the projections in. I'm going to presume everybody's at 0, I think. So it's just going to give me random of those guys. And I'm going to let the salary restraints kind of dictate where the lineups are built. I don't know. I think it's an interesting approach for a wild race like this. And and that's it. Hope you guys have fun watching this race, if in fact you do. And that'll do it.